which is the spirituality is caught. It's not gained, it's not earned, it's not studied, it's not cultivated, it's not, and this goes against some of the things that we are conditioning in the kind of Judeo-Christian Western conditioning. We think like, well, if we do our sadhana every day, and yesterday, and it often happens like this, like when we were doing the Long Cars yesterday for Yogi Bhajan's birthday, it's the high holy days, this Yogi Bhajan's birthday for our lineage, and we're doing the Long Cars, and I love spiritual practice like this, which is like, all right, am I in aisle 5 of Wal-Mart or am I enlightened? Am I buying stuff at Target that is polluting the earth, or am I in nirvana? It's like you're just hoeing the fields. You're just like out there doing the work. There's been some Yogi Bhajan birthdays where there was apparitions of all sorts of esotericism and messages and things. The cataclysms of the movements. And some people here, yesterday during, and certainly that class last night was very esoteric. And so. It's a wonderful cultivation as a spiritual practitioner, as a Dharma practitioner, to get that sometimes when you're in the middle of you have those moments where something opens up and you have a bliss state, or you have some sort of kind of revelation or some sort of message or some sort of sign, and then you have the very powerful and practical application of spiritual practice, which is am I shopping for gluten-free crackers, or am I chanting Long Car right now? And so I call those the supermarket sadhanas. It's like it's Yogi Bhajan's birthday and it's the most auspicious day, and you have to make your prayers, and you have to do what's right, and you have to do what's good, and you have to, all this kind of spiritual materialism. And then you just find yourself, it's like an hour and 59 minutes in, and all I can do is watch the second hand on Guru Jagat's watch. She's texting. I'm like, I was vegan, but all I want is cheese. Whatever the thing is, it's a vegan until Europe is how we roll. But it's vegan into Mallorca. But so it's like, where are you? And those are the moments. These are I want us to really be alert to this, because we're now in this time. This is the exact moment. This is very important to be alert to this. That spirituality is caught, and you never know what aisle of the supermarket you're going to be in. In like the most boring sadhana or meditation or practice, or like the most doldrum moment of your relationships or your business, or just the most kind of functionary, boring moment, that something hits you across your third eye. And you have to be alert. The whole cultivation of your daily practice is to be alert enough to be able to catch the spirit in that moment, the spirituality. And so I was talking about this yesterday, because I was talking to some people about the supermarket sadhana yesterday. And I was like, I wasn't even in Air One. I was in Ralph's, okay? I was like, I wasn't in the organic section. I was in like the ethnic section. I was getting some like chili powder that has sodium dioxide in it. That's what was going on. Is that what that stuff's called? The anti-caking agent? Like, that's what, you're kind of like, you're in some weird town and you're like, well, there's no organics here. I guess I'll just get like, So that's where I was yesterday. In that, like, there was no like, Jing City, $32 from Air One. We were like getting, it's like when you're at the gas station in, Cell, Germany, and you have to decide whether you're going to get. What's your best choice here? Is it a pasteurized kind of pear drink that looks real shady, or you might as well double down, just get a Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Because at least you know what's going on with that. you know. So these are the moments. But I was talking about this after that supermarket sadhana yesterday, and then Tej, without us collaborating on it, said the thing that Yogi Bhajan used to say, which is spirituality is not. It's not taught. It's caught. And that's the difference between the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces. Because in the age of Pisces, it was the people who had the knowledge, it was the people who had the information that had the power. But in the age of Aquarius, it's the people who have the experience. And that experience, because we're such spiritual materialists, like I always get these questions where it's like, I was doing Kundalini yoga and everything was expanding, everything was amazing. I was doing that prosperity meditation and I was getting more money or more thing or whatever the thing the person wanted. Then they hit the first impasse where they find themselves in a gas station on like the ridge. They're on like the I-5 North at 11:45 p.m. at a gas station in their spiritual practice. And they're like, how did I get here? I thought I was getting enlightened. I thought everything was going to get better. I thought I was a good girl or boy, and so therefore, but this is part of our conditioning. And so what we want to cultivate now, especially after we have this big swell of energy, is we have to cultivate really practicing to be able to catch when the spirit comes, and we have no idea. We just don't know when that could be. And, Yogi Bhajan never spoke to Hari Jivan about playing the gong. Never. Not once while he was alive did he ever say, Hari Jivan, you're going to play the gong. You're going to be, the gong is going to be a whole, situation of mastery for you. And although he would never want me to use that word, but Yogi Bhajan never even mentioned it. And Hari Jivan says that in retrospect, which a good master or a good teacher, this is what they're always doing, is they're placing things in your aura that you will unpack for many lifetimes, not just this lifetime. And so he said that where he feels that Yogi Bhajan placed the power and the city of sound in his aura was when he was driving Yogi Bhajan around and listening to Say Saraswati, which is a poem by Yogi Bhajan that has now been remade on White Sun 3. And I'd like to play it for you today because it's so amazing. I said to Hari Jivan after I heard it the first time, I was like, I don't think I have enough personal power and personal will to ever turn this song off again. I don't think I have enough self-discipline to ever not be listening to this song again in my whole entire life. That's how amazing it is. I mean, it really is just unbelievable. But he said that inside that, while he was driving Yogi Bhajan around, to the movies, that's where he caught the power of the sound current, which is, now his greatest mission on the planet. So we need some help in aisle 9, please. We just need a little support. So that's what I want you to be thinking about this week, okay? Because the energy was high and everything, and we're kind of, this is the time where a lot can happen, and it can feel like like a bubble is burst in some way, and because people are addicts to the kind of spiritual materialism, and that's part of what we have to really deconstruct as Westerners, because we're so used to the new bag, the new thing, the new whatever, we have that whole kind of conditioning. You want to really start to use your practice to position yourself that if today, in aisle 9 of the grocery store, in your meditation, will be the moment where something comes at you and activates in you, and you may not even know it. That's what I really want you to get. You may not even understand it cognitively until years and years later. And Tej asked me last night, which I'm glad she didn't push on this, but she asked me, did you have the dreams? Did Yogi Bhajan come and visit you the night before he died? Which he did. He did a lot for all of us. I had no idea at the time what was going on. because I was just young and kind of stumbling around and trying to figure out what was happening. I had no idea that in that dream, which has then been unpacked over the past 18 years, that he was giving me a massive transmission about my mission on the planet Earth. But I mean, who knows? You're just like, oh, I think I'm doing Yogi Motion. I mean, these are the things that because we kind of were so numbed out and looking for the next kind of hit, we can really miss. And good news is a good teacher can put it in your aura so that maybe you will be able to find it again and unpack it. But you want to be alert to these moments. And they could be the most boring moments of your, whole entire life. That's good. And in the Trungpa, he always says, the Tibetan teacher, he always says that in the true kind of tantric yogic lineages, that your biggest suffering, like the biggest kind of pain of just the doldrum of your human incarnation, that's the enlightenment. He says samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara. So in the moment that you've like had some sort of bliss experience and the thing is opened up, what do you do right away? You're concerned about when it's going to end. Like, oh no, when am I going to? It's the truth. So then it becomes your suffering right then and there. Okay? All right, so we're going to work on that a little bit this week, okay? It's called the razor's edge.